Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Video games can be pretty amazing, but nowadays companies are being pushed more and more to get games out quickly. Sometimes the game turns out quite well and gets better over time. Other times the release date creeps up on developers only for them to realize they're just not ready at all, but impatient fans cause them to rush it out. In either case, some games fade into obscurity while others continue to improve until they become great. Let's talk about the latter. Get ready, it's time for the top 10 video games that got better after launch. Number 10. Grand Theft Auto V Online. This kinda pains me to say since I'm not a huge fan of GTA Online and I think it's ruining single player since Rockstar is focusing so damn much on milking money out of online. That said, I must admit that the online experience has improved drastically since launch. On release there were a bunch of problems, with some unable to perform certain actions and others unable to log in at all. However, after almost a month, online was up and running real talk and has been updated constantly ever since. Again, this is largely because Rockstar realized online is where the money was, but it's undeniably way better than it used to be. Number 9. Minecraft. Minecraft started out as a relatively simple game based on Infiniminer. It wasn't bad by any means, which is made apparent by its huge player base even in early days. However, in the 8 years since it was first introduced, there have been pretty massive developments in a bunch of areas. Smoother graphics, way more content, cool craftables. Anyone who's been playing from the beginning will vouch that there have been pretty great strides made. And if you like Minecraft, maybe you'll be interested in Number 8. Ark Survival Evolved, aka Minecraft with dinosaurs. Yeah, I recently started playing this and it is just so bomb. It's right up my alley. However, on release there were a bunch of issues with the servers. Not only were there connection issues, but there just straight up wasn't room for everyone. But unlike No Man's Sky, the devs communicated with the community and the servers were soon fixed. Since then, some patches and new mods have made the game even more fun. If this appeals to you, definitely get it. Or wait for it to go on sale and get it. I really love it. I had a Triceratops named Sarah and she died. Number 7. Terraria. Terraria is in a similar place to Minecraft in that it was quite good on release and it's been in a state of constant improvement since launch. With the success of Minecraft, Terraria was kinda considered the 2D little brother to Minecraft. But it's really improved and distinguished itself quite a bit since then. New modes, new difficulties, new items, new locations, it just keeps growing and growing. And it was a pretty good game in its own right on release, but it's definitely better 6 years later. Number 6. Destiny. Destiny was a much anticipated game when it was launched in 2014, and as is sadly common with highly anticipated games, it fell pretty flat on launch. Super unbalanced, not a lot of content, plus Peter Dinklage's voice acting was so atrocious that they had to redo the lines with Nolan North, which kinda sucks because Peter Dinklage rocks, and he clearly didn't have much direction when doing his lines. That said, Nolan North is just a boss, and the game got way better with future patches that balanced PvP and added some cool elements. Number 5. Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V was one of the worst games on this list. There were so many past games to live up to and it failed them all. They basically focused solely on multiplayer so it could be played in tournaments, but that was pretty much it. Very limited single player, just 16 fighters to choose from, not to mention a whole lack of connection issues. Thankfully this was fixed eventually with new characters, new levels, and a story mode making it much better as time went on. Number 4. Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was one of the most anticipated launches of the decade, released 12 years after the previous games. Sadly, while Blizzard had high hopes for their sales, claiming to expect a fitting 6.666 million copies sold, they ended up selling that within a few days. Needless to say, this caused some connection problems with a bunch of people trying to connect at the same time, and many people were unable to play the game. Of course, these issues were fixed rather quickly, and this combined with patches brought about a pretty great game, adding an adventure mode, introducing seasons, and rift challenges. If you haven't played it in a while, try it again. Number 3. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go was pretty freaking insane on launch. It was so full of bugs, connecting was a nightmare, it crashed every 30 seconds, it was awful. But it was summer and I was unemployed, so I took my dog on a bunch of walks and played the crap out of it anyway. Sadly, now every time I try to log in it gives me an error, so I've given up on it. But my goodness does it look cool now. The servers were fixed, they added a buddy system, and most importantly, the addition of the Generation 2 Pokemon made it even more awesome. And Gen 3 is just on the way. Number 2. Batman Arkham Knight for PC. Arkham Knight was such a disappointment to PC players when it was first launched. Everyone was so psyched after the previous games, but it turns out that it ran like an absolute turd on PC, to the point where they stopped selling it and offered refunds. You know the worst part? they knew about it before release. Damn. That said, the performance issues were eventually fixed for the most part, and with that out of the way, the game's pretty great. Plus, there's a Batmobile, which is awesome. Number 1. No Man's Sky. I finally get to talk about No Man's Sky in a positive light. As some of you probably know, I personally enjoyed the game from the start, just cause I love a nice chill exploration game. But on release there were about a million promises broken by developers, followed by radio silence from them. It wasn't good. Thankfully, in the year following the launch, several updates were released that brought a bunch more content to the game. It now has a somewhat more in-depth story, land vehicles, and base building, which was the biggest thing I wanted when I first started. So if you tried it and hated it, give it another shot. It's pretty great now. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more videos. Have you ever returned to a game only to find out it got way better? Let me know in the comment section down below. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie with Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.